Good morning from Medjugorje. I'd love to read to you the message from yesterday, the 25th of April 2023, by Our Lady. Dear children, I'm calling you to be carriers of peace and joy of the risen Jesus for all those who are far from prayer, that the love of Jesus through your lives may transform them to a new life of conversion and holiness. Thank you for having responded to my call. I'd love to go step by step through the message again. Dear children, I'm calling you to be carriers of peace and joy of the risen Jesus. We believe in a supernatural faith. If there wouldn't be the resurrection of Christ, there would be no Catholic faith, no Christian faith. We believe in the power of the Holy Spirit. And how can we activate the Holy Spirit in our life? When we are authentic, as I always say. I am who I am. When we follow, and how can we be that? When we are following the inspirations of the Holy Spirit. And then we become carriers of peace and of joy of the risen Christ, because the Holy Spirit, or the power of God has resurrected Christ. And we all have that power in us, and we can activate it when we open our heart, when we let Jesus enter into our heart, when we let ourselves be guided by the Holy Spirit. And then we have this supernatural faith as well, and supernatural lifestyle as well. We will have that faith, because we will make supernatural experience. Like, listen to the interviews. I did around nearly 1,000 now, and people talk about this supernatural lifestyle. And they talk about that their hearts have been softened here in Medjugorje. Or if you go on Apparition Hill, you see all these rocks. And somebody said all these rocks are the hardened hearts of the people who passed on that mountain and who left them behind there, and let love enter, the love of Christ, enter into their heart and change their hearts. And through that change, we can be carriers of the peace and joy of the risen Jesus for all those who are far from prayer. And that the love of, and that through that the love of Jesus, which transformed all these people here in Medjugorje, through your lives, our lives, all of us around the world who are Christians and have experienced that love of Jesus, may transform them to new life, and to a new life on conversion and holiness, And we should do that with all the people who are far from prayer. So by your example, you are leading people, How are children? They look what the parents do, not what the parents say. We have to do that by our example, meaning that we are shining, peaceful, joyful people. As it is said here in Medjugorje, you can see Our Lady in the eyes of the people, of the pilgrims. And I love to observe pilgrims. I love to look in their eyes, and I see a lot of them. You know it by now, by doing these interviews. They have this gentle peace and gentle joy in their eyes. And that's an effect here of Medjugorje, of this cross mountain, of Apparition Hill, of the adoration of St. James Church, as Our Lady is present here in Medjugorje for now 42 years nearly. And come and experience that yourself. From the heart, I recommend you that. That's why I do all these videos, to see how this place, how Our Lady is going to change you in this place, coming to Medjugorje, I can tell it for myself. My life, yesterday a good friend from Germany came. I didn't see him for 4 years, and I told him my life was a mess. My life, I had a hardened heart, I had a wounded heart, a sad soul. And step by step, Our Lady changed my heart here, step by step. Every rock which was in that heart, every hardened space, step by step, she changed and is still changing. I am a living example of that. You can listen to my testimony, it's online, personal testimony in my channel, and you can see how my life was a mess and how my life was before I came to this place. I never imagined that there is a place like this existing in the whole world, you know. I can definitely say that Our Lady is here. I talked now, you know, around 1,000 people. Ask them their experience. They all have the same experience. It's like coming home. It's like coming to receive a heavenly embrace. And heaven is close, touching earth here. It's like 5 centimeters away from earth here. And I made the same experience being on top of Apparition Hill, standing in front of Our Lady, and started to cry and cry and cry. And she said, why did I cry? Because I clearly heard in my heart this voice, and I knew it was her. And she said, I see all your pain. I see everything that happened to you. From conception to now, I see it. And I was, again, this little boy who's coming to his mother and talking about his pain, about how lost he felt, you know. But it transformed my life here. And it happened exactly what the message is from yesterday. Dear children, I'm calling all of you to be carriers of the peace and joy of the risen Christ for all those who are far from prayer. And I can see this is what she asked us, all of us who came here, who experienced that. All the people said, I interviewed all of them. We brought other people. We talked about Medjugorje. And this message, and we brought other people here, you know, we talked about it, Medjugorje, and the fact what happened there, and from all kind of people from all around the world, they said the same, and Our Lady is summarizing this in the message from yesterday. Dear children, I'm calling all of you to be carriers of the peace and joy of the risen Christ for all those who are far from prayer, that the love of Jesus through your lives may transform them to a new life of conversion and holiness. Thank you for having responded to my call. And it's a call, you know, a call to bring other people to talk about Medjugorje, to see that there is hope, that there is faith, that the Catholic faith is alive and changing the world, changing people. And that's the conclusion of this message, I think, for all of us. And so I urge you all who have been here, talk about Medjugorje, bring other people and be carriers of this gentle peace and joy of the risen Christ to other people who are really far away. And there are a lot of people who are far away, you know it, you know the world is a mess. But I tell you, look with this simple phone what you can do. I reached now 5.6 million people around the world. You can do the same. It hasn't to be 5.6 million people. Padre Pio said, if you change one person, that's already enough for a human life, you know? So talk to your neighbors about this peace and joy you can receive here through Our Lady, and finally through the risen Christ. Our Lady always leads and points to Jesus, nowhere else, and Jesus to God the Father. And they give this gentle peace and joy, what we all strive for in this world, you know. And you can hear this gentle peace here, you know, in the morning. I did now a video about the sunrise and the bells of Medjugorje, and there you can feel this peace. And so respond to the call and see the humility. She said, thank you for having responded to my call. Our Lady always says that, you know yourself, we are poor sinners, and she's thanking us to cooperate with her, you know. We are her army, and we can change the world. I'm deeply convinced by that. So God bless you all from Medjugorje. Please pray for me, and I pray for you here in Medjugorje. And have a joyful, joyful day wherever you are. God bless you all.